right, guys.
Welcome to the Deer Shop Podcast, presented by Siman Brothers Outdoors and the Leaky John Boat Company.
He went and watched a movie that has a $200 million production budget, and then the next thing he watched was our video on YouTube that has a $0 production budget.
This is the first buck I've shot in over 10 years.
Your track job was the first fun track job. That kind of like, I think part of my life was influenced by that night.
Then you miss him 3 times with a rifle at 70 yards on video for the whole world to see.
That's what Caleb did. 5 years ago, we couldn't shoot a deer at 100 yards with a slug gun. Now you're shooting turkeys at 100 yards with a shotgun.
Joey takes
The shop is closing up.
Make sure he takes all his right antlers. You can't leave anything.
All right, guys.
Let's go.
Episode 109, Deer Shop Podcast. We are in the studio today with Ethan and Uncle Jay. It's a very momentous day. This is the day before Jay leaves for Alaska.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Coffee, toast.
It could be the last day we see him.
Coffee and Diet Coke Zero.
A fridge cigarette is what I was calling them.
Fridge cigarette toast. Because it is 10:45 on a Monday morning.
Labor Day.
Labor Day. Yeah.
So you guys will be hearing this a week from now. Jay will be in it. Will you be hunting?
Off grid, man.
Will you be hunting in a week from today?
Yeah, actually, I fly into Anchorage tomorrow, and then which is the 2nd, and then as if the weather stands, he's flying me out into the field the 3rd, and season opens the 5th.
Can we get a breakdown of your travel day tomorrow?
Yeah, so Isaac's going to be kind enough where I actually couldn't think of anybody else I'd rather drop me off at the airport. So he's, my Western buddy.
Not forgetting any bags in the garage.
Yeah. Like a second set of eyes and 4 o'clock in the morning brain. So he's picking me up around 4. My flight takes off out of Cleveland at 7. I'm flying to Seattle, where I purposely picked a really long layover because that's when you lose baggage, is when you have short layovers. They don't get transferred to the next plane. So it's almost a 4-hour layover.
Is this pretty much the way to go to Alaska? You fly to Seattle and then Seattle to Alaska.
It seems that way.
So
I haven't seen any other flights.
I flew from Seattle to Alaska, going to Japan the first time we landed in Alaska to refuel and stuff.
So you were in Anchorage?
Yeah.
It seems like Seattle is the hub for going to Anchorage. It certainly is for Alaska Airlines because, which is what I'm taking. And then I'm going to get into Anchorage about 4 o'clock Anchorage time, which is 4 hours behind us.
I guess I didn't ask about that. Because we're going to be talking in the inReach. We'll talk about those in a second. Your time zone. So you're 4 hours behind us. So 6 a.m. here, 10 a.m. there. Or 6 a.m. here, 2 a.m. there.
Other way around. 10 a.m. here is 6 a.m. there.
Okay.
What time?
So you're 6 hours in front.
I call it behind.
Behind, in front, whatever.
Because I mean it's semantics, but if it's 10 o'clock a.m. here, it's 6 a.m. there.
Okay. So you're in the past. We're in the future.
Okay.
What time zone is it? Mountain Standard?
No. West Coast is 3 hours, so I don't know.
Okay, you don't know the time zone.
I'm sure it's probably Alaska or something.
Maybe West Coast is 4 hours. I don't know. I don't go that far west often.
We're only ever 2 hours when we're out west, so
I
would assume California is 3, and then
I think that's probably about right.
The next one over. So you land in Seattle, long layover.
Yep.
Fly to Anchorage tomorrow. Still.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a 14, 16 hour travel day. It's a long day.
And you're first class both ways.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah. So that's my number one advice to anybody planning this is to get yourself an Alaska Airline miles card. Put every bill you have on it for a couple of years, and you will
acquire enough points.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Just kind of, I think I told this story on a previous podcast. Yeah, when it was time for me to get tickets, I was just screwing around, seeing how much they were going to cost, and then I'm like, I wonder how much first class is in miles. And then I looked, and I had enough miles to get first class. So
that's pretty awesome.
And not only that, like it gives you baggage credit. So I'm allowed to check 2 free bags, which those are $100 each. Which all in all, I'm going to have a carry-on, a purse, my backpack, and my carry-on. free. 2 check bags, free. 50-pound weight limit. And then I have to check 2 more bags because I think total I have about 130 pounds of shit.
Of stuff, yeah.
So
that'll all be tomorrow. Land in Anchorage in the evening, I would assume.
yeah, it's around 4 p.m.
Then you're staying overnight.
Yeah, my pilot's going to send someone to pick me up at the airport. And then he told me my number one concern when I get in there equipment-wise is getting camp fuel because you can't fly with it.
So jet oil fuel.
Yeah. And he said he will either have it or whoever's picking me up will run me over to Cabela's and I'll grab some.
Okay. 'Cause Anchorage is a big city, I would assume.
250,000 people. Never knew it was that big.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's half the size of Cleveland.
I couldn't believe it.
That's huge.
That's like Akron, right?
yeah.
Bigger than Akron, I think.
I don't know. The
Yeah,
population.
that is a
But
big
yeah, that's
city.
big.
I had no idea it was that big.
That makes
Yeah, I had
sense.
just randomly looked that up.
I was
the other day.
expecting you to stop at some mom and pop store to pay.
Yeah, he's
triple
like,
the price.
no, I think it's a Bass Pro now or whatever. But he's like, I even asked him. I said, I have anxiety that I'm going to get there, and it's the peak of the season, and everybody's going to be out. He goes, that does not happen. He's like,
Yeah,
it's what we do. He said, and like, I'll either get some or we'll grab some. He said, so you're not to worry.
Because how many fuel canisters do you think you need?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm
least 2,
worst
probably?
case scenario. I'm 25 days in the field, probably. Worst case scenario. I think I could probably get away with 3 for that long. 3 small ones. I mean,
Yeah.
I've taken a small one last me 5 days before, almost a week.
And I've never run out of fuel, I don't think, on a trip before. And
I never have
I've never
either.
taken a backup when we're going out into the field.
Yeah, but
Also,
there's-
you have your stove.
what's that?
You have your stove too, so you could boil water on that if you had to.
Right,
Your tent stove.
right. As long as there's firewood or whatever. So, but I like to build in some cushion just in case. That seems to be the number one thing, is just give yourself like a 3-day excess plan in case things go unplanned. They can't fly to pick you up because of weather or whatever. Gotcha. There's a million reasons.
So then you're meeting your pilot. And I was telling people at work about this, that you're actually traveling with your pilot to different planes.
Yeah,
Which is bizarre.
Yeah,
You don't ever get that experience.
Yeah, this is how remote it is. So his initial hangar, his main hangar, is not that far from Anchorage. It's a little north of there. So I'll drive up there. Got a hotel there for the night. Supposedly we're going to leave first thing in the morning of the 3rd. And I want to say it was like 300, 400 miles west to another hangar where it's a fly in and out only town, where he keeps his Super Cub.
His bush plane.
Yeah. And then we'll go remote from there.
Okay. So fly in a medium-sized plane. I presume it's still like a 5-passenger or something.
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
From
I think
Anchorage to-
I think he's got 2 or 3 planes.
Okay.
So I think there's the Super Cub, and then I can't remember what the other one was, which is the bigger one, which is for more than one person.
Gotcha. So weight doesn't become an issue until
Correct.
Super Cub.
Yep.
So in the Super Cub, that's going to fly you into remote interior Alaska. That's where you're hunting, correct?
Yep.
No river system, no.
There's a river system that's running through there, and a lot of tributaries. So I picked out an area that I feel like was topographically
what you wanted.
what I wanted, like just very deer-like. If something's going to be traveling from point A to point B, topographically, this would be a good spot.
And it's nowhere near any of the road systems, basically?
No.
Okay, super
No.
remote. Because I watched a video the other day on YouTube. I don't know who the guy was, but they were doing a road hunt for moose in Alaska.
Yeah, it's probably the Hall Road.
Yeah, and
HAUL.
holy shit. He would pull. They were staying in a cabin. It was some sort of outfitter type deal. Staying in a cabin and then driving to their hunting places every day.
Yeah,
These trailheads, they
Yeah.
looked like Colorado parks. Like they pull up, there's 50 trucks.
Oh, really?
And that's where they were hunting.
Yeah, I know there's a road system called the Hall Road, which is very popular to just
Is it the dirt-
miles and
dirt
miles. It's real
highway or
shitty.
something?
Yeah, and you can just hunt right off the road. So I know a lot of guys do that.
And there's nothing that stops you from doing that. You can buy a tag and drive up there and do that.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's
If
over
you're
the
in
counter.
one of those
yeah,
areas.
Yep.
So
Sure
I
can.
can imagine that does get busy.
Yeah, where I'm going. So I have a general tag, so I can hunt any general unit.
Okay.
Each general unit has different rules and regs. The general unit I'm in, the season is the 5th through the 20th, and then there is a nearby unit that goes to the 25th. So if I'm there for 10 days or so and I'm still not really seeing anything, I might try a different unit and just finish out there and get moved. That's not ideal. I hope that doesn't have to happen, but I'm there to make the most of it. There was something else I was going to say, but I forgot.
Yeah. Well, you're flying remote interior Alaska. They're dropping you off for X amount of days. Mm-hmm. You're taking X amount of gear. Mm-hmm. And we've been talking about that extensively, but you're pretty much limited to a certain amount of gear.
Yeah. The Super Cub weight limit with my body weight included is 335 pounds. That's what he gave me. So, I'm about 220, gave me 115 pounds of gear. I'm right at that 115 pounds. Why not make the most of it?
Mm-hmm. And this isn't like elk hunting where you weigh your backpack before you go out. This is boots, underwear, cell phone. This is everything.
Yeah, this is everything. This is me with every single thing standing on a scale.
Yeah, because we talked about earlier, we weigh our backpacks before we go backpack hunting and shit, and it's like 65 pounds, but that's not including you, your phone,
right,
your clothes, your
right,
socks, your underwear, everything, gun, all that. You have a hard set deadline, basically.
Yeah, yep.
I would starve to death if I had to do that.
Yeah. So he's been sending me his pack out list with all the weights and and his food shit makes me nervous.
Yeah, I had to cut something somewhere, so I feel like worst case scenario, I've got different critters I can shoot and fishing stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second, but these peak refills do kind of save you because this is 870 calories and it's
I'm still,
not even 5 ounces.
I think I'm still going to be over 2,500 calories a day. I think my food weighed 18 pounds 16 and some change for, I could probably stretch it out to 10 days.
Okay. That's not as bad as I envisioned.
Yeah. But I've added some stuff since we talked, just because once I got everything in my pack weighed, it was actually a couple pounds lighter than I thought, because I think, so the little things were adding up, like how organized I was like, this was in this bag and this was in this bag, and I was weighing the bags. So once it all came out and went into one bag,
it was a lot lighter.
It was a couple pounds lighter. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because those bags can't add up, especially when they're dry bags.
Exactly.
Shit like that.
Yep.
Well, while we're on that topic, you said you had other tags, you had a fishing pole. So what all can you shoot while you're there?
So I have to go back and look. I know I could get a black bear tag. I don't think I'm going to. But honestly, if it's a survival thing, I'm shooting whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, because you shoot a black bear, how many days is that going to take up? The pilot's going to have to come get that.
Right, and it's going to be an extra trip cost for me to have him come get the bear.
Is that an option to purchase after the season starts, or do you have to buy it before?
Yeah, I think you can buy it at any time.
Okay.
There's a time period to buy one, but it would be a game time decision, and I won't have internet to buy it from the field.
Say you shoot a moose day 3, you have all this allotted time, you have all this, the pilot's time, all this crap. Could you go get internet access or whatever, get a tag and go back out? Would you see yourself doing that? Say you're 6 days in and you're done. Moose.
Well, I could say
Moose
this.
is at the airport.
I would say it's probably a safe bet from day of the kill, depending on what time of the day. I'm counting on another 4 to 5 days just to get everything broken down, packed out, and the pilot to come.
So even if you shoot that moose the first couple days, it's still a whole trip worth of work.
Yeah.
An adventure. Okay.
Yeah. Because being alone, I was actually just talking to a guy last night, connected on Rock Slide, and he did it by himself 2 years ago. He actually did it. I don't know how to explain it, but he did it a little bit more outfitter-ish than I'm doing it. Like, they basically said, there's tons of moose here. We're taking you here.
So it's still a transporter, but maybe more than a transporter.
Yeah, but he was by himself. So he said it took him 4 hours just to break the moose down. That's just to get it skinned. And then it took him 3 days or 2 days, a total of 3 between breaking down and then 2 days of trips. And he said it was 9 solo trips.
Wow.
To get it to where the
how far did he shoot?
He didn't tell me.
Okay.
He didn't. We didn't get that far.
Because you can also, the pilot can land pretty much wherever. Or does he only land in designated spots?
No, if he can land there, he can land there.
Okay.
So
if you have 100 yard or however big it has to be.
That's one of the things we're going to do while we're flying in is he's going to
be like, I can land there, I can land there, I can land there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so that way I can kind of strategically make my kill.
Yeah. Moose over there, I can shoot. Moose over there, no go.
Right.
Gotcha. Because you could shoot a moose 5 miles from camp as long as there's somewhere to land.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. Like I where I'm going, I'll be able to glass very, very far, much farther than I'd be able to shoot or pack. So it would be kind of like a leapfrog type thing where if my base camp is here, I shoot one 2 miles from camp, maybe he can pick me up within a mile from there in another location. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I think I'm not going to probably plan on shooting anything further than a mile from camp.
Okay.
If
further than a mile from a runway.
Not a camp. So, but where I can get picked up, that's 18 miles, all said and done. 9 miles with at least pack. 60 pounds.
Okay.
150 pounds twice, 120 pounds twice, 80 pounds twice.
And for the audiences, listen, there's such a set weight because in Alaska you have to keep the quarters whole.
Yeah, with this unit, I remember what I was going to say. With this unit, the game laws are 50-inch minimum wide or 4 brow tines. Mm-hmm. It's pretty universally accepted. Don't go by the brow tines because the antlers on moose are just deceiving. So goofy, man. They could be very deceiving, and it's up to someone else to decide if it's a brow tine or not.
Unless it's definitive.
It can be really definitive, or it could be really vague. So if it's really definitive, I'll consider it. But I've got the measuring system down for 50 inches or more. Each quarter and each rib has to have the bone in. So you're looking at 130 to 150 pounds for a rear quarter, 100 pounds to 120 pounds for front quarters, and then 60 to 80 each rib. And then you've got the loose meat. You've got your tenderloins, your back straps, your neck
at least
meat.
A couple trips of that.
Yeah. Yep.
And if anybody has ever seen a moose or seen a dead moose, they are impressive. I helped pack out a cow moose when I was in Montana a couple years ago that this older couple shot. And there was a whole bunch of us on the trail that helped them because it would have been impossible. And this thing was a cow, somewhat small for a moose. And holy shit.
I remember, dude.
It is a literal cow laying on its side.
Yeah.
You got to do something about it.
Yeah. One of the questions I get a lot are, am I going to run into anybody? And with my luck, fucking probably.
Yeah.
But I hope not. I hope Jethro doesn't come into camp and or some dickhead pilot drops someone off near me.
Right near you.
But the statistics are square miles wise, this unit is the size of 3 Ohios, and there were 62 hunters there last year.
That's the unit?
That's the unit.
3 times of Ohio?
Yeah.
And there's 62 hunters
and
in
there
the
were
whole
62
place.
hunters that hunted moose there last year.
Yeah, so if there's someone by you, they're doing it on purpose.
You'd think,
Yeah.
you'd think so.
Yeah. So is that another? So your camp is going to be set up near where your runway, I would assume. You're not going to be packing in anywhere.
Well, it's going to be as close. My thought is I'm going to, very similar to what we do out west. If I can camp near my glassing point, I'm going to try to do that. Yeah. It's not going to be far.
Do you want to make yourself visible to the sky? Do you want your camp to be visible, or do you kind of want to
I don't want to
hide
be
it?
that high because of the weather.
Okay.
I want to be out of the
kinda
weather.
tucked in.
I'm going to try to find a bench or something,
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's going to be, a lot of it's going to be depending on how wet it is. From what I understand, it's really wet this year, which is good for moose, bad for hunters.
And you're taking a set of waders I saw in your gear.
Yeah, it's a brand new set that Sims just came out with. They're like a little over 2 pounds. They're packable waders.
So they go over boots? They go in your boots?
So they're like stocking feet. I'll slide them in my camp shoes.
Okay. I was wondering about that because like as soon as you sacrifice those boots to the waders,
then
they're going to be wet the whole time.
Yeah, I might, I've got paracord and whatnot. I may fashion something up, but we'll see how they stay on. But a lot of dudes use Crocs, but because of the back, around the heel strap keeps them on. But they're too heavy, so mine are more like slippers.
Yeah, if you've watched our bear hunting video from a couple years ago, you see his shoes.
Yeah, and they're super light, great, super durable. But that would be the move there. Hopefully I can find something just kind of below skyline, out of the wind, or at least not on top of a hill somewhere, and not too low to where I'm in a swamp. May take some time. I mean, I've scoured the area for spots like that. Got some spots marked on my on X, but we may not even necessarily land there. So there's, he's like, this is the area to look at.
So you may go somewhere else. And how many spots do you have picked out? Just one main one? And you have
Just main one, yeah. But it's such a big area, and it looks the same for 100 miles. You know what I mean? But there is one area that I'm interested in that is, a lot of tributaries coming together along a main waterway, which looks pretty nice.
Okay, and so when it comes to this hunt, basically you're glassing from a high point. Are you calling? Are you waiting for them to come to you? Or are you glassing and going to them?
Calling is a big deal. And then from all the old timers that I've talked to that have killed many, many moose, the number one thing that they've said tactic wise is to not move. They're like, it may be boring. You're going to want to do the whole what's over that next ridge.
So this is right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
If anybody knows Jay, he likes to sit, he likes to plop his ass in 16 hours, and it's a different kind of torture for me, and it's his kind of torture.
Yeah. I don't mind glassing that long. So they say the calling is pretty bizarre because they'll call, and when I get there, it'll be very, very early rut, so pre-rut, where calling probably won't be that effective. But sometimes they've come in days later. The bulls have come in days later.
So they hear your calling from miles away, and then
and they just lumber their way eventually, making their way to where they've been within feet where the person was calling from.
Oh shit!
Those big ass antlers are just big
A
sound collectors.
lot of people don't know that. That's what those are for.
Yeah,
that's why they're shaped like that.
Yeah. So you start stinking up the area, you're gonna you might screw it up for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're watching, I got my little moose shed. Basically, it has to be this on the brow tine for you to be able to shoot.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, that's the 4.
You take one of those 2-liter bottles to hit against the.
I actually bought a. I like to support small businesses and stuff. There's a dude in Alaska who makes a famous bull call or moose call. It's basically indestructible material, and you can use that to rake and call.
It's like a big plastic tube.
Yeah, it almost looks like a big megaphone. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what you'd be perched up, calling, waiting for them to come to you.
Yeah.
If you see one and they're not responding, I guess you try and go get it up to a certain standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I think, depending on, my comfort level, how far I'm going to shoot, where it is from where I can get picked up, all those things considering, if it's not coming to me, I'm going to go to it for sure.
Kind of backtracking, it's almost easier to move your camp to where you kill the moose rather than kill the moose back to your camp, right? If there's runways available, if there's spots that can land.
Yeah, for sure. So I brought, and it's kind of part of the logistics is, if I'm moving meat over a 2-day period, there's going to be a point where I have meat and kill, and that's 2 spots for bears to get to. So I certainly won't move my camp anywhere near
where that is.
But I will take my bear fence and put it around whichever stash has the most meat.
I was gonna ask about that. The giant brown elephant in the room is the So are they grizzly bears or brown bears?
I don't know.
Don't know the difference.
The pilot and I talked about grizzlies, and there was no.
So these will be inland grizzly bears.
Yeah, they're grizzlies.
Is there a difference between grizzly and brown bears?
It depends
I know
on where
there's
they
Kodiak
live.
and grizzly bears.
I guess it depends on where they live. I don't know. We'd have to have a biologist for that.
Yeah, I don't
but
know.
the big giant brown elephant in the room is bear protection.
Mm-hmm.
Bear. Are you worried about it? Or are you not worried about it? I would certainly be worried, but then again, how many moose hunters are hunting every year? How many get killed?
Yeah,
by bears? Not that many.
I'm more bear aware than I am worried about it. I feel like the dangers out there are way more than bears. Like
More like the elements,
Yeah.
exposure, getting lost.
yeah, getting hurt, just
Getting
blowing
hurt.
a knee out or twisting an ankle or breaking your leg or something like that.
Because we've hunted wilderness areas, but I would say everywhere that I've ever hunted, a solid day or two of walking in one direction will get you to a road. At least. Maybe even half a day walking.
This ain't
Out
that.
there, you are... So
Alone.
you take a wrong turn and you are away from your camp and all of a sudden you can't find it. What the hell do you do?
Yeah, you're screwed. There's, I think the way to put it is anywhere in the lower 48, help is hours away. Up there, it's days away. You know,
So then if you have weather, it ain't coming.
yeah,
For a week. Could
So-
be a week.
If you go stalk a moose, are you taking like emergency rations, emergency supplies, little one of those aluminum foil blankets just in case you do get hurt, you don't freeze to death?
nah, I mean, I have a couple kits that come with me
Always.
So, you know, the InReach, I have a med kit. I have like a day pack that is dedicated for, I can make it by a day or two.
You're not going anywhere without that
Right,
pack.
right.
Does it have food in it or no?
Yeah. Yep.
And going back to the bears, so bears are an inevitability up there. And it's a little different than when we're hunting in the lower 48. When we see bears in the lower 48, it's kind of like it almost seems like it'd be more freaky because those
Yeah.
bears are less, I don't know. They're more keen to humans, but it seems like they're more keen to mess with you.
Yeah, it does seem like that.
And up there, it's just you're out in the wild.
And I don't know
bears are
what
bears.
this statistic is, but I'd like to know bear attacks in Alaska versus a lower 48.
Maybe they happen all the time, but we just
And
don't
then I don't
about
know
it.
if that's an impossible comparison because of the population up there versus down here. So, but they don't happen frequently. But you know, you certainly have to be cautious.
because they are there.
They're there. Yeah.
And if you kill a moose, they will be on that kill site most likely in a couple days' time.
I would
would
assume
assume.
so. Yeah. I mean, the pilot told me that it is not as bear dense of an area as others because there's no heavy salmon runs, and that's usually what
So
concentrates.
no
the
giant
bears.
river, not near the coast.
Yeah, there's a river that comes through there. Hard to really tell how big it is. Looks like a pretty decent size. Definitely, you know, you could raft it, but it didn't sound like it's got a heavy salmon run or anything.
Okay.
That's what really concentrates the bears.
I got you. And you are taking a bear fence, which I thought was a pretty cool setup, super lightweight.
Yeah, it's I've got it pretty well down to where I use one of my bricks to power it. It's a 40,000 milliamp brick, and I ran it for a couple nights, and it's basically 1% an hour.
Okay.
So I could kind of predict how long it's going to run.
Now, is that something, it draws that charge, and then when you touch it, it's a big charge?
It's a pulse,
Okay.
just like a cow fence.
So will it pull from that power bank as soon as you touch it, or does it kind of have
No,
like
it's
built
constant.
in?
It's
like,
constant.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you have to factor in the cold weather up there for that percentage? Like
Probably,
you did it here
yeah.
in 85 degrees.
Probably. Yep, probably.
Speaking of that, what are you looking at for weather?
The weather now looks like it's going to be 40s and cold rain for the foreseeable future. So
Typical Alaska.
yeah, miserable Alaska misery.
Shouldn't have. Well, that might help you with the mosquito standpoint.
Yeah,
though.
I don't. I'd rather it that than mosquitoes. To be
Yeah,
honest,
60 degrees and you got a cloud of mosquitoes out
and
there.
then
black
like,
flies.
and I can keep meat a good while with 40 degrees. You
Yeah,
know?
I can take it
even
for-
50 degrees. That's I
You
got.
got a week at least.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd rather it that than 80 degrees of mosquitoes and lose meat in 2 days.
So you said the unit's 3 times the size of Ohio. There's 62 hunters in the unit from last year. How many moose were killed?
Oh, yeah.
There was a 68% success rate.
Wow. And that's non-residents, residents, that's all together, do you know?
I think it's everything.
Everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody's looking
That's a
it
good
up
rate, right?
now. Everybody's looking up that statistic to find out what unit that is right now.
Well, if they didn't plan their trip already, I don't think you're going to see them tomorrow. So, speaking of that, was this one of the, not to get real dialed in on unit, but are you hunting kind of a place that was kind of on the chopping block? Because I know they talked about limiting non-residents in Alaska over the past couple of years.
I don't think so.
Because that is one of the things that drove this trip, right? Because the future is so uncertain when it comes to non-residents hunting.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly true for me anywhere in America. Like the future of hunting, public lands in general, non-resident tags, the cost, and then certainly my mantra of seasons left. I don't know.
It's
how
basically
reasonable it is.
It's a sliding scale of we don't know how worse it's going to get, but we do know it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
It's not getting better.
Right. It's never getting better.
When it comes to a cost, opportunity, success rate. Right. It's never going to get better.
Nope.
It's the sliding scale of how fast it's going to get worse.
Yeah. And you're never getting younger and it's never getting cheaper. And like all those things, and the time to do it was yesterday.
I'm glad it led you to this now. Like I'm glad you're doing this now and not waiting for the potential future of who knows what.
Yeah, I mean, the whole what if. I mean, I wish I would have started doing this, 10 years ago. But 10 years ago, I was in the mountains in the lower 48. So it's been a good progression, and we didn't grow up out west. So there was a big learning curve, a tremendous barrier to entry.
Yeah, tremendously financially, knowledge.
Yeah.
Just making the leap personally, basically.
Yeah, so I think finally I feel comfortable enough that I can do this alone.
You can make the leap to Alaska from the west.
You can't get off the couch and just go do this because you'll fucking die.
That's a terrible idea. Yeah, I mean, like.
So if anyone listening out there, don't do this unless you're.
That's probably my number one thing
based.
that I have. That my number one problem with like a lot of the YouTubers that are like, you can do this too.
They make it
because
easy.
Well, they make it look super easy. They make it look like there's a bull around every tree. They make it look like you don't have to be in shape. Even though they talk about it, they got fat asses who are doing it, and they'll look at the camera and go, "I can. This isn't just for me. You can do it too." But ironically, that's also how you make a living is by dudes buying your shit to go do it.
I can't even go hunt the hills of Kentucky. From
Like I'm going to tell you the opposite. You probably can't do it.
Yeah.
You probably cannot do it.
A lot of the people that want to do it that maybe shouldn't or can't, they throw their checkbook at it to make it easier.
I guess.
There's always a leap and bound that you can use your checkbook. Like a rich doctor could go kill a moose. He could find a way to go kill a moose.
You know what I
by
think?
Throwing money at it.
I think what happens is people go out west, and even the West is so amazing that even if they don't have a great hunting experience, they have a great experience.
Yes.
And that brings them back. And it ends up being an excuse to go on a hike, a short hike, and then you're back in town for a couple nights, and then you go back out for a couple nights, and it's a very casual approach. But if you think you're not going to train for it and not have your equipment down and not have any woodsmanship and just watch a YouTube video, get up and go out, and whether it's a lower 48 or Alaska, you're a moron.
Yeah, you're going to put yourself and potentially other people.
It's dangerous. It is legit dangerous.
Which that leads me to my next point. One of my favorite videos to watch anymore on YouTube and stuff is kind of like the early bird, the people that get super into it. Maybe it's their first, second, third, fourth year going out. They film their elk hunt. They may not even see an elk, but I love seeing that story, that journey.
Yeah.
Someone coming from the east, going to do their hunt. They did their homework. They bought the gear. They did everything. And then it's even better when they could do a good production value of that.
Yeah.
Which leads to my point. I know you've been really worried about weight and all that, and you have a brick basically of camera gear that you're taking with you.
Yeah.
And you haven't cut it off yet.
No.
Which I thought that text was coming.
No.
They had this 10 pounds
Never
of camera
considered
gear.
it.
10 pounds of camera gear staying in the
this is too big of a thing that like and a lot of credit to you guys for putting it in terms that made it easy for me to not overthink. here's the settings you want to use, and record everything.
Yeah, just record it.
Just record everything. And, just being around you guys on recorded hunts before, I know enough of the setups that I can get something on film as long as I don't hit the wrong button or something.
Yeah,
dumb.
we can make something happen with very little, and as long as you filmed it, we can make it happen.
Yeah, so that's the plan, man. I mean, and it's not a huge weight penalty. My camera is not big. It's a Sony EVZ10 or EVZ10,
small mirrorless camera.
Yeah, the thing's small but mighty. And then the GoPro, I think it's a total of 3 pounds.
Do you have a phone scope or anything for your spotter?
Yeah.
To rewatch the video?
That was, and that's another big weight penalty that I'm taking that may get cut if I have to.
Spotter.
Is the spotter, because I'm taking my good binos and my spotter, and I like to glass with my binos on a tripod.
If anyone's done it, it's such a better system than using a spotter.
It's so much more, it's so much less painful on your eyes. So if I get a moose in sight that I think I'm going to take a shot at, I will swap to a spotting scope and then put my phone on it, and then I'll be able to review, like we did with his bear, shot placement. God forbid I don't see the thing fall, or I take a couple shots and I don't know if I hit it or not.
It's huge.
It's such a big deal when you're alone, because then I don't have to. I can look and see, get a better idea. Did I hit the thing or not, and do I need to walk 400, 500, 600 yards to go look for blood after a wounded moose, whatever. I don't know. It's worth the weight penalty to me, but if push comes to shove and it's between cutting food and cutting that, I'm probably cutting that.
That's going out.
That makes sense.
And going off that story, that this phone scope saved our lives once on our bear hunt. Not to bring up bad things, but Jay missed a bear on film. I was able to see on film. We could see that he shot low. He missed the bear, and this bear was in a next to impossible spot. If we weren't filming, if we didn't have the phone scope, we would have had to go down there and check it out, basically.
Yep.
And it was sheer cliff. It would have taken us days. It would have been dangerous. We would have been able to recover the the bear if he shot it, if he did hit it.
And that would have been worth the trip.
Yeah, but this would have been days and days and days just to see.
And I don't want to call it wasted time, but it would have been unfruitful,
But us pressing record on the phone scope kept us from doing that. Clean miss. We can move on.
And it's awesome. Like that's the
back.
Yeah. I mean, that's the word I'm looking for.
It's the reason why we do what we do.
Yeah. Like the cherry on top is then it's awesome to watch,
Because there's something to be said. Yes, Jay has this experience. He shoots a moose. It's hanging on his wall in his living room, and that's all you got. But if you videotape it, everyone can see it. You can show it. You can show it to as many people as you want, as few people as you want. You can just watch it yourself. But it's a whole nother experience, and you can keep experiencing that over and over and over again.
Yeah, and we'll see where it goes. If it comes out, and if it's something I truly enjoy, something I want to pursue, maybe it'll take me down a different road with the seasons left thing, and who knows?
I know you're going to try to come up with a clever title if this all works out. The damn video is probably going to be called Seasons Left.
For sure.
Like a journey of that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I've got a pretty good premise. If like I said, if the footage comes out good, I've got an idea of how I want it to be
how you
shared.
want it to happen.
Yeah. Yep.
Last little thing. We don't have to go long today. We can wrap it up. Safety on this hunt. Obviously, you said the bear fence. We'll talk about this little orange thing sitting in front of us, the Garmin InReach. So he should potentially, if everything's working out, be able to message updates as he's going. And for a safety aspect, if they work, because lately we've been having troubles with these little things. Yeah,
I'm not sure if Garmin changed something or what, but there's like multiple apps that now attach to this thing, and they're crossing over, and I'm a day before leaving, and it works, but I don't love it. So
it used to just send a text message. We didn't even basically have to use the app. You just use the app to type.
Yeah.
It would send a text message. You could text back. It would come right to the InReach, and it was all good. Now it's all app. It's all in the app. All the messages are going to the app. If you don't have the app, it's not good.
I'm not sure what the change is. But I changed nothing on mine from last year, and mine's all messed up. So
Lovely.
but it communicates, and that's all I need.
So when this podcast goes live, you're going to be deep in the moose wood, and who knows, you might have a moose down. Is there anything else you want to say to the audience, to the public, family, friends? This might be Jay's last recorded
moment. In all seriousness, I made this like truly heartfelt, like I'm not a birthday person, but I made this birthday post on social media about like, that's the whole premise of Seasons Left is I don't really count birthdays. Like it's a reminder that, hey man, that's one less season I have left. So, do it for yourself, make the trip, climb the mountain, take the picture, don't put it off. With our line of work, we see it every day. Probably in our personal lives, we have seen it. And you will see it when something happens that there's going to be a lot of regret that you didn't do the cool shit. Do the cool shit while you can.
Word. And I think we're going to end it with that.
Perfect.
We're updating. When Jay's doing this manly moose trip to Alaska by himself, me and Caleb are doing the exact opposite.
They're
we're
going to
hunting
Kentucky.
corn pile bucks in Kentucky this weekend. So that's what we're doing while Jay's doing that.
So there's going to be, at Siman Brothers Outdoors, there's going to be two dramatically different things happening at once.
I do like that. Actually got brought up with a couple listeners that I was talking to the other day of the dynamic between like Caleb and me. Caleb is very surrounded with friends and family and beer and social, and it's the deer camp vibe. Where I am like the other way is like I'm driven by like this other force of
getting in your truck and driving away from the people, or in this 3 different planes and flying away from people.
It's a cool dynamic, man, because I think on some level everybody relates to both. Everybody can relate to.
Everybody wants that camaraderie, and then everybody wants that get out there and do it the hard way.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I think that wraps it up. Yeah. Deer Shot Podcast, episode 109. Thanks for listening. Good luck to Jay.
Thanks.
And
thanks for having me.
We're out.
Out.